Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you may be listening to this. We are starting into the second part of Chapter 3, which sometimes we refer to as coordinate geometry. So we're going to start off with 3.3, which is slope, and this entire section is all review. This is everything you learned in algebra, so none of this should be brand new. Maybe it's a little rusty, but we're going to clean things up and get your mind going into the same place that it was a year ago in algebra. So slope we commonly see referred to as m. So we'll see that again when we're talking about equations and slope. Slope is commonly referred to as m. And slope we can say is rise or fall over run. So rise over run, you've probably heard that as well. And then the actual formula for slope is going to be y2 minus y1, or the change in y, over x2 minus x1, with x and y1 being a point and x2 and y2 being a point. So we have 2 points and we're trying to find slope. So we take the change in the y, we subtract our y's, and we take the change in x, and we set the y over the x, and that's going to give us our slope. So let's take an example of this. I'm given the point A, which is at negative 4, 5, and B, which is at 8, 1. So if you'd like, you can select these as being x1 and y1, x2 and y2, and label them if you would like. So we can set these up into our equation with 1 minus 5 over 8 minus a negative 4. So be very careful when we're dealing with slope is these negatives, and we're also subtracting. So the top stays as 1 over 5, but at the bottom we have 8 minus a negative 4. So subtracting with a negative is the same thing as adding. So this is going to turn into 8 plus 4. And we'll go through and simplify, and we'll leave this as a fraction unless it can simplify into a whole number. So 1 minus 5 is negative 4 over 8 plus 4 is 12. And this can actually reduce down to, these are both divisible by 4. So we have negative 1 over 3 as our slope. Let's try another one. I have the point 0, negative 6, and negative 2 and 10. So again, selecting one set to be the x1, y1, one set to be your x2, y2. And we'll say 10 minus a negative 6 over negative 2 minus a 0. 10 minus a negative 6 turns into 10 plus 6. Negative 2 minus 0 is just going to be a negative 2 by itself. And we'll continue with simplifying this. 10 plus 6 is 16 over negative 2. 16 divided by a negative 2 turns into a negative 8, so our slope is a negative 8. Now, sometimes we are given a graph, and we can even find slope from a graph, which is something you may be familiar with, and that is talking about checking your rise or fall over run. So we start at a left point. So I'm going to start here at this point, and I'm going to see how far I rise or fall to get to my next point. So it looks like I can't go up because my point is actually going downward. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down. So I'm going down 6, and then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 to the right. Now a tidbit here, if you fall, means negative. So if my fall is going down as opposed to a rise going up, then my slope's going to be negative. So I'm starting off with a negative 6 over 9. This is going to simplify. 6 and 9 both have 3 in common. So I have negative 2 over 3 as my slope for this graph.